What's up, guys? Nightwolf here, and we're going to be doing a quick review over the Marvel Netflix series Iron Fist. And is it worth a watch? Short answer, in my opinion, yes, it is. I know that there was a lot of people who talked about reviews and whatnot, and the Rotten Tomato gods have spoken and said, the show is goddamn terrible. Worst thing ever. It's not. It really is not. Now, most of those reviews I know were only like the first 6 episodes of the show and not all the way through. I don't know if people will go back and rewrite the reviews once they watch the whole thing. I highly doubt it. But I wanted to quickly touch on the reasons I think why the show got panned so quickly by 10 reviews and then probably pretty much everybody else since then. And it might shock you guys. It might truly shock you. It might be terrifying. It's because it stars a white dude. I know. A character that has always been a white man in the comic books is a white man in his own Marvel TV show. A shocking revelation, if ever we've seen one. I mean, seriously? This is the most idiotic reason to pan a movie I have ever seen in my life. It could just be that the acting was terrible. It could have been that, stunt choreography was bad, which, to be fair to the movie, some of the fight sequences and whatnot weren't as good as some of the other Netflix series in the past, especially not Daredevil's fight scenes, because Daredevil's fight scenes were freaking fantastic. But I don't know if everybody watched the same movie, to be completely honest. Now, I think that the show was strong on a lot of fronts. I liked the characters in it. We had a lot of fun characters. We had some very interesting bad guys. Of course, the Hand has returned once again. And they'll probably be coming back in the Defenders. I'm not going to spoil how or why, but go watch the show yourself if you want and see for yourself of how things are going to change or what's going to happen. I'm not really sure myself. It was kind of vague, which is odd for a Marvel film of any kind to do, so kind of curious to see what happens next, actually. So, like I said, characters. I don't remember all the actors' names. You'll have to forgive me. This is a quick review. I think that they all did a really good job. The villains, in particularly, were very manipulative, very interesting. They tugged at the heartstrings. There's a really great redemption story for Danny's lifelong friend. Ward, I think was his name. Probably Ward. I'm not going to spoil what the redemption story is, but he has a really great redemption story that I think is very nice and very wraps everything in a nice little bow for his character. And as well for Danny's character as well. Very strong. A lot of the other characters were really great as well. The 2 female supporting cast. As always, our night nurse is fantastic as always. I always enjoy seeing her in these shows. Though, I will be honest, the one thing I wish that they would have done with this show is kind of introduce Iron Fist to some of the other members of the Defenders that he's going to be a part of. I would have liked to have seen that, but that did not happen, sadly. And the only connection that any of them are all going to have is the night nurse. And I'm just going to call her that for now, because that's how I know her as. Choreography might not have been the strongest, but there was always the same choreographed stunt fight scene in every Marvel Netflix series so far. A hallway fight. This one, though, I did kind of like a little bit. I don't remember some of the other hallway fights, but I liked this one because it had hatchets, and it was kind of cool to watch a bunch of guys trying to kill you with hatchets and whatnot. It was a pretty fun show, pretty fun time. There were some really good fights nearing the end of the show as well that I thought were very good. They weren't as emotionally driven as some of the others, except for the one at the end, which, no spoilers, but I think just to see the last battle is well worth your time. Not much of a huge, massive fight, but it had a lot of emotion behind it. Overall, I think that Iron Fist was a very good show. Is it the best out of all the Netflix series? Probably not me. If it's any show or movie of any kind, there are two things that you have to do. You have to keep me engaged and interested, and you gotta make it fun. If you can't do one of those two things, I'm probably not gonna continue watching. And I think that this show, aside from the negative reviews making me going, you know what, I don't buy this for a second, it can't be as bad as they say. Aside from that, just to spite the reviewers, the professional reviewers, I think also at the same time this show is entertaining. Is it perfect? Probably not. But I think that it's a very good show. I think it's worth at least one watch, if not, if you want to watch it again just for fun. I don't know what happened with all the reviewers and whatnot. Clearly they've drank in too much of the social justice warrior Kool-Aid, I guess you could say, and yeah, that was pretty bad. It's so weird too. In my opinion of this is that when you see the show, or when you see the reviews of it, I think they just universally panned it because a white guy is the star of the show. Because they wanted an Asian person to be Danny Rand. Which doesn't make any sense because then you have a stereotypical Asian character doing a thing that a lot of Asian people do. It seems very hypocritical. I know one person I saw making a video about the situation with Iron Fist, and he said that Danny is exactly what you would want everybody to be. Someone who was culture shocked, someone who crashed, his airplane crashed and his parents died, and he spent almost his entire childhood in a monastery with a bunch of Asian people, learning Asian things, learning Buddhism, learning Kung Fu, learning the ways in which those people live. Isn't that what you want? You want everybody to be equal. You want everyone to understand other cultures and to learn other cultures. But the moment that a white man decides he wants to learn Kung Fu and then come back and save his family's company and all that, nope. Completely wrong. It's racist. It's wrong. Bad. Bad Finn Jones. I'm just kidding. Finn Jones, you'll probably never see this review, but I think you did an excellent job. I think everybody on that show deserves some form of credit and praise for what you guys tried to do. I'm not going to give a final rating because, well, for quite honestly, I'm going to... I just don't want to be completely honest. I don't want to do a review system anymore. I think review systems, well, not review systems, but, grading it and whatnot, the way that I have in the past isn't fair. Well, it was fairer than numbers, but I think we're just going to go with a watch it type of thing. I'll just tell you whether I think that it's worth a watch and whatnot. And I do think it's worth a watch. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy this rambling video. This was literally my initial thoughts and whatnot on the whole thing right after watching it and right after finishing it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you can leave a like, shoot a comment. You can subscribe for more videos of this nature. If you want them, just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to go back to doing a few more reviews here and there when I see something interesting. And I probably will. And as always, do not forget to raise your nerd flags high, and I will see you next time. Nightwolf's out.